Nobody's putting your body weight on your headstone when you die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
That's the
women's
least interesting
clothes.
thing about you, I promise you. And if somebody's concerned about that, then fuck those people. Like, you don't
Yeah.
want those people in your life.
Well, and women's clothes is like Satan making them. I don't understand. Like a size 4 is 8 different sizes, all that kind of stuff. So people get obsessed with a size, and it's the same thing. Nobody can see the size. You're walking around so insecure because these pants are too tight. You can go up one size and nobody's going to know. You can actually walk around feeling confident. It's not like Levi's jeans where they put the waist measurement on the outside for men. Is it Levi's that does that? They just put that number right on there. What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, there's a Seinfeld episode about that, actually, because Jerry replaced the tag or scratches the 2 off. I think he was a
that's hilarious.
34 waist instead of a 32.
Yeah, it's like people don't know. And since all these clothes are all different sizes anyway, don't get so hung up on that. Just get one size bigger.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon.
What's going on?
Jimmy.
How you doing, man?
How are you? Good. How you guys doing?
Amazing.
Awesome. Fuck yeah. Doing great. Could you introduce yourself for our listeners?
My name's Jim Hallinan on Instagram. It's at Jimmy Nutrition. I had to play off the whole Jimmy Neutron thing. Super easy to remember. Some people, when I go to gyms and do seminars, are like, Jimmy Neutron. I'm like,
you gotta get the wig.
I know, right? I have the opposite situation going on in the back of my head. But yeah, I'm a high school teacher. I've been teaching. I'm in my 23rd year teaching. First 7 years, I just taught driver's ed. I was just the driver's ed guy. And now I teach seniors health and phys ed. And I wrote a course in kinesiology and nutrition, which is an elective for seniors. So anybody who wants to get into the space of anything, fitness, nutrition, health related, this would be a good base course for people to take. Our school is very large and we have like advanced placement pottery, but nothing for people who want to live a healthy life except for gym class. We'll call it that. And you're not really learning anything in terms of that. So yeah, and I've been in the online coaching space for about 7 years, which actually started because of the course that I wrote and started teaching and explaining to the students, hey, this is something that you can actually create as a career. Nutrition coaching at the time, it wasn't really a common thing. People didn't really hear of that. So by the end of that school year, I started the business and just started reaching out to gyms, doing seminars. And that's what kind of grew the one-on-one coaching thing. So, and then an odd extra thing. I actually own a driving school where people learn how to drive.
So you went from the driver's ed teacher to now owning your own driver's school. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's what led. Yeah, that's what led to that. And then I was able to get to a place where I'm kind of hands off with that and focus on the coaching. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, do you mostly coach teens or do you coach adults? Because I know you work in a high school, so
yeah. In terms of the nutrition coaching? Yeah, mostly adults. Okay. I have had high school, college students, mostly athletes, some for weight management, some for performance. My youngest client actually was a 5th grader. It was a student that I had. The parents had reached out to me for him, and nobody would work with somebody that age, and went about it did a totally different approach just to get him to start thinking about healthier things. And it was a tough situation for the kid because his older brothers were lean in shape wrestlers and he wasn't. And those kids could eat whatever they wanted. And then he was sneaking food, and it's a tough situation to be in. But the first time we met, I confronted the parents. I go, so what kind of stuff do you eat that you think might not be the best, or however I phrased it? And he started talking about McDonald's and different stuff. I go, oh, and do you drive there yourself and get it? He's like, no, my parents take me. And then I just eyeballed the parents. Yeah. God, totally confronted that. But then the kids started to get into preparing meals and coming up with ideas and cooking them with his parents. So it was neat. I don't know if I would do that again or not.
Okay.
But it was a learning experience. So mostly adults, mostly Gen Pop, some competitive athletes. I've had CrossFit athletes, and right now I have a jiu-jitsu fighter, he's been amazing to work with. But otherwise, just general population, regular people like us.
Mm-hmm. I love that you used the fifth grader as an example there, and how you went about that, because that's something we talk about a lot is nutrition and health and wellness starts with parenting, right?
Yeah.
Our children learn this shit. These are learned behaviors from our parents, from our grandparents, aunts and uncles, anybody that we're being raised by.
Yeah.
So that was a great question. Are you driving yourself to McDonald's? Of course he's not. He's in fifth grade. So
yeah. And then it's tough too. I mean, you have parents who are telling one of the kids in the house, I think you've had enough.
Oh yeah.
I think you've had enough, because that kid might be struggling with their weight. And that's something that carries on into their adulthood.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, nobody's going to fucking tell me I've had enough. I could eat whatever I want. And then it becomes this other direction. And then even I had one, it was very eye-opening. And I think even Jamie Filer at the conference referenced the same thing. A client that I was working with, and through the time we worked together, she realized that she has done this to herself to make her more unattractive, because she had I don't know how much of it was a sexual assault, but had something happen when she was younger.
Yeah.
And she came to that realization that she's been self-sabotaging ever since to not have to deal with that again. So
like a shield.
And it ended up.
I've heard that before from clients. Yeah.
Yeah. It was totally eye-opening, and led to her getting into therapy for it and really getting into that issue. So I absolutely think most of the stuff goes back to our childhood.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
Do you hear, as a high school teacher, do you hear some crazy shit that kids say about food and nutrition and stuff that actually comes from their parents? Do you have any examples if you do?
That comes from their parents? I don't know, but it is funny because I'll get asked that a decent amount. What's the difference? And it's the same. The adults are dealing with and struggling with the same stuff that the high school kids are struggling with, because they're hearing the same information. They're thinking the same thing. This is bad, or that is good, or this is the best way to go about it. You got to do keto. My dad did it and lost all this weight. And there's all these things with their individual experience. Now that's the way, obviously, but they're dealing with the same stuff, the same body image things, the insecurities. And that's really what led me to even wanting to do the course and wanting to coach, was seeing these high school people struggling with the same issues that adults are struggling with. And if we can intercept it a little bit through conversation, then great. And even our senior health curriculum is very broad. We can kind of touch on everything. And some teachers spend more time on STDs and contraceptives. And my STD lesson is, if it's itchy or burny or rashy or painful down here, go to a doctor. Like, we don't need to spend 2 weeks figuring out if it's bacterial or viral and all that. I'd rather talk about the nutrition stuff and the things that actually apply to them. And I actually start the marking period off with, what do you think senior health should be? And they write down what they think, what they'd want to learn, or what should it be about. And then I base the curriculum for that market period on those topics. And every year you pretty much get the same 3 things with nutrition, health, fitness kind of stuff, anxiety, stress, depression, which was also eye-opening. My first year teaching seniors, that a lot of kids wrote that down. And what's the other one? Sometimes you get the drugs topic, and we'll do that. But anyway, those 2 things are the main 2 that come up. So I do. With
nutrition, the nutrition point, then what are the most common things that people want to learn about, or they're bringing up when you're asking them these questions?
It's either going to be weight loss or the guys that are trying to put on weight.
Sure.
And they all think they can do it without gaining any fat. Or you get these high school guys who are like, I just can't gain weight. My metabolism's so fast. I'm like, it's not as fast as you think. And then for them to even learn, a heavier person actually has a faster metabolism than I do.
Right.
A 350-pound guy can diet at 3,000 calories, where I will not be able to diet at 3,000 calories.
You'll probably be gaining weight at 3,000 or maintaining.
Probably be right in that like maintenance to potentially gain. So for them to even understand and learn that aspect is important. But then these high school guys that are skinny and they're trying to put on weight, they're going, I'm going to the gym, I'm drinking protein shakes, I'm not gaining any weight, I just can't gain weight. Do you have breakfast? Well, no.
Yeah.
What do you have for lunch? There's like a sandwich, maybe a bag of chips. I go, okay, so that's 400 calories, 500 maybe.
That's interesting.
Do you eat after school? No, I have practice. Okay, and then you come home and you eat like everything. Yeah.
So they eat a lot, right? In that one sitting.
Correct. And and then I've
Mm.
gotten a handful of them to actually start logging. I want you to log and see how many you're actually eating. And most of these kids aren't even eating 2,000 calories.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Which
they
for
think
growing teenager involved in sports, that's nothing.
yes.
Right.
So just to get them, hey, if you're actually trying to gain weight, let's at least get a breakfast in, focusing on those things like every meal, where is the protein, all those principles and the importance of that, even from a health perspective, your immune system in terms of getting protein in. So yeah, it's usually weight loss or muscle gain that
Interesting.
they're asking about. Same thing as adults.
Teaching them energy balance early,
Yeah.
which seems to be something that we're teaching adults that are 40 and 50 and 60 who still don't fucking understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they see a Pop-Tart, that's 400 calories. Is that filling you up? You know, it's not that these things are bad. That's just going to be very difficult to maintain a certain number of calories and then, well, what do? I don't want to track everything. Okay. Then here's some things you could try. It might be more difficult. You know, you could cut out processed foods or eliminate some from certain meals and see what happens. But at a certain point, if it starts getting more specific, then you have to take more specific measures.
Right. It's like, it's a lot easier to just track everything and then eat the food that you enjoy rather than trying to fucking have these battles of, no, I can't have that food and I'm going to eliminate this food at this meal, or I'm just going to skip this meal. It's way overcomplicated.
Yeah. Yeah. And to discuss like how things actually make you feel. It's not just about the scale. Like these certain foods are going to make you feel better. You guys are asking about stress, anxiety, depression, but then you're eating a ton of processed foods, which is going to lower the amount of serotonin that you produce because that's the majority of it's produced in your stomach. So we think that it's this mental health crisis that we have, which there is for a lot of reasons, but a lot of this stuff is rooted from the fact that we don't move. Lifestyle. They're outside and exercising and moving. So now you have all this energy in your body that needs to get out. And how's it going to get out? It's going to run around in your brain when you're trying to lay down and go to bed.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to sleep. And then you're waking up late. You're not eating breakfast. You're going to school. You're stressed out. It sucks. School sucks. Like they don't want to learn. What do I got to do to pass? What do I got to do? They don't really want to learn.
I hated school, man.
Yeah. It's like, and
I see my son struggling through it right now. I'm like, dude, I get it. I hated school too, but unfortunately the man says we got to do it. So
yeah.
That man.
And it's like,
I'm not trying to raise a fucking drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are other options out there that get very expensive. There's all kinds of different progressive ways in education that I love. None are around me. They're all still traditional. The closest one's like an hour away in Princeton, New Jersey. Obviously, that's a place that would have them, but then it costs a lot of money. Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, my son's in 5th grade. I'm like, why are you dividing fractions and decimals in 5th grade? Like, memorize the times table. Why are they not doing that? They're not learning cursive, which is good for your brain. So yeah, it's all these things, the physical aspect, the food aspect, that is, I think, drastically negatively affecting our brain, increasing anxiety.
Oh, absolutely.
But we don't want to tell people that's the solution because then we're ignoring them and you're simplifying it. But yeah, simple is the way.
Right.
It boils down to that, honestly. I mean, people just they take it to the next fucking level when we just need to go back to the basic shit. It's like they fight the basics.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
Beth and I's kind of stance on this podcast, we've talked with other people about it too, which is why we were so excited to chat with you. Like, it starts with our public education system, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Beth, you agree with that, like with nutrition and these lifestyle things, because they're spending a lot of their time there. A lot of kids are only spending a few hours a day with their parents anymore. They're being raised by their teachers, they're being raised by coaches and babysitters. So it's like everybody needs to be in alignment with this stuff. And it really starts with school and the curriculum there.
Yeah. And then parents, obviously, as a parent and a teacher, it's the parent's responsibility as well to figure some stuff out. It's like there's definitely way too much blaming the school and expecting them to basically raise their kids. But unfortunately, in this topic, there's just not any training in it for teachers. There's not I mean, my degree is health phys ed, health exercise science, they call it now. So it's more, it's not just phys ed. And I had maybe one nutrition class, and you know how it is. The stuff that you learn in school or in a book is very different than the real life application and the emotional and psychological struggles that people have with it. So that's the part that scares me, because even our freshman health class, they talk about nutrition, but it's carbohydrates are this.
Yeah.
You need to have a good balance. And like, they're not really learning how to navigate the crap and to like recognize how they're being, Exactly. Like at that age, like, they're like, whatever, I don't care. It's just not presented in a fun way. It's not presented in a practical way. I mean, I make them do a project where they have to take a food item, a processed food item, and point out everything on the label that they're doing to try to make it look like it's healthy for you. It's like Welch's fruit snacks. There's images of fruit. It says family owned farm. You know, there's like a picture of a son, like all those things that have nothing to do with the fact that it's just a sugar bomb. But
those are the snacks that we're grabbing on a daily basis, right? It's like, not that snack is bad. It's the amount that we're grabbing that snack.
Yeah. And then even teach them how to read the labels in a legitimate way. I show them how with a lot of the low carb food items, they can lie about the calories. Like Schmidt's 647 bread or Mission tortillas. If you look at a Mission tortilla label from 5 years ago, it was 120 calories. Exact same macros, exact same fiber. Now it says 70 calories. Well, why is that?
I don't like the net carb trend. I don't like it.
Yeah. And so people are confused. And I try to explain, like, it's fine. You can have this, but if you're eating 2 slices of Schmidt 647 bread in the morning, you're having a couple of these tortillas, you're covering things in spray olive oil as a dressing because it's 0 calories. Why can it say 0 calories? There's 763 servings in the can. It's probably not 0 calories. And then they get frustrated. It just leads to that frustration because of the manipulation and the misrepresentation of these food items, where if we can get back to some more real food, we don't have to worry about those things.
Absolutely. Agreed. Especially with like the nutrition label, those 0 calorie sprays. That's a tricky one, right? I've done a couple of videos on that in the past. People are like, wait, what? And I'm like, like you think a serving is you sitting here spraying it for a second or two. No. That was probably like 6 servings right there. A serving is like, and you're done. Like that's your spray right there.
To explain to them, anything above 50 calories, for anybody listening that doesn't know this, anything above 50 calories, they can round down to the nearest 10. So if the calories are 79 per serving, they can say it has 70. Anything below 50 calories, they can round down to the nearest 5. So if a quarter-second spray of Pam has 4 calories, they round down to the nearest 5, which is 0. So that's how they can say that there are 0 calories in that product.
Right. And it's not to say, right, that we need to obsess about these things. It's just like,
correct.
You should be aware of these.
Aware.
Correct.
Because
I'm never weighing my Pam can.
Right.
I spray for multiple seconds. I don't care if I missed out on 50 calories.
Same.
But you do that 10 times a day.
Exactly. With a lot of different products, these low carb products, all these other things, there's 500 or 600 calories that are unaccounted for right there every day. And that's pulling you out of the deficit that you swear to God that you're in.
Yep.
Yeah. Remember when I don't know if you guys remember, I made that video about the low carb wraps. I got fucking like people coming at me.
Lambasted.
I'm like, people will fight to the death about the.
What did they say?
How whatever soluble fiber is not digested through
soluble versus insoluble.
Yeah. And then, so it actually is this. And I'm like, but it really fucking isn't. And so I actually took my video down because it was causing way too much confusion for my viewers. And then they were just overthinking it and going to the next level. And I'm like, I can't even talk about something without people just going fucking batshit.
Yeah. My first response is, well, then how many calories are in a sweet potato?
But no, I don't know if I could tell you.
I'm like, I don't know.
Do you then subtract any of the insoluble fiber? We don't do that with any real food.
Right.
So all the fruits, the berries, the potatoes, all that stuff, we don't go, they used to be 150 calories and 200 grams. Now it's actually, we don't do that.
That makes sense. I never thought of it like that when you put it like that.
Yeah. And you're like, well, I'm like, well, do you figure out how much insoluble fiber is in it and then to subtract that? Well, no. Okay.
So why do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Consistency. Do it one way. Do it one way, not both ways, because you're going to fuck yourself up.
Correct. Yeah, it's so like, can I put Metamucil on my cheesesteak and lower the calorie count?
People right now are probably like, oh my God, what? What the fuck?
I know. So whoever is listening, you guys who are listening, just don't overthink this shit. Please don't have like 8 million low carb wraps a day because you're eating more than you think. Okay. So just.
And like what I do, if I'm really trying to be tight and track, which I haven't really done in years, because as soon as I think I want to try to lean up, I do it for 2 weeks, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that.
It's not worth it anymore.
I know. Oh my God, it's not easy.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, like I just make my own entry. I do like I do fake Schmidt's bread, and then if I have it, I come up with a calorie count based on the macros, and then I get my 70, 75 calories instead of thinking it's 35 or 45. I do the same thing, fake mission tortilla. And then I log it as 120 calories instead of 70. Again, I'm not having 5, 6 of them a day. It's not the end of the world, but that's all you have to do. If you're actually trying to log it, I'll just log it with the total calories just in case.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to worry about it and stress about it.
Yeah,
like I love those products because nobody's like 93% of Americans aren't getting enough fiber or something like that. It's insane. So like I like those products for that reason. I just don't like, and it's not even their fault. They're just taking advantage of what the government allows them to do. And so like, it's not
which is,
fault.
I'm sure, some food lobbyists, and that all happened when the government was like, we're here for you people. We're going to make the
government says they're here for you, run the fucking
we're going to make the calories larger. Because the calories used to be the same size font as everything else. Now the calories are larger, and these companies are like, whoa, we don't want to draw too much attention to how many calories are in one of these wraps. So here's an argument that we can propose to the government, and then they'll say yes. And now it says 70 calories instead of 120.
Yeah.
But I'm a conspiracy theorist.
I mean, I think there's a little bit of conspiracy theorist in all of us. Like I just said, like run the other opposite way when the government says they're here to help you. So I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I know. I agree.
Yeah. It's even like when Michelle Obama, when she was really trying to make change, who were the first people that volunteered to help? Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Okay. And they promised.
What was Michelle Obama's initiative that she did for school lunches? Because she did, I believe she made an honest effort to try to improve our school lunches, right?
And then
they're an atrocity. School lunches.
It was that. Her campaign was called Let's Move, and she even vocalized that this is a movement towards eating healthier. It was not about physical exercise. It became about physical exercise when these companies got in. So let's move. We need to change this. We need to have higher standards with these companies. Like that was her whole appeal. So Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, probably McDonald's, like all these people jump in to help out. And that's when they promised to remove calories from the shelves. And in removing calories from the shelves, they added more lower calorie products and 0 calorie products. And that's how they quote unquote removed. And then on the news things, they're going, we're removing 3.2 trillion calories from the shelves, which is like a bite of an apple per American.
Jesus.
Like it's just this crazy stuff and how things get manipulated. She was manipulated, but it's a shame. And then it turned into, hey, let's get kids outside playing. It's not that hard, is it? Well,
to get kids outside to play, it actually really fucking is anymore.
Dude, I am fucking struggling with my own son who is 12. Yeah. And let me tell you, as someone that knows a thing or two about nutrition and movement, I got to fight to the fucking death to get him off his computer, off his games. Like literally, we are on vacation in Florida. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of this room. Let's go to the beach. And it's like pulling teeth. Like we fight every day. I'm fighting.
Yeah. I mean, that's for us. It's just like, you're not playing. I don't care what you do. I'm bored. Okay. And
exactly.
Why is being bored good? Because I come up with stuff. And all of a sudden he's out riding his bike to a friend's house to see if they're home. He does not have a cell phone. He's 11. He's the only one of his friends who doesn't have that. Yeah. So if he wants to hang out with a friend, he's riding over to their house old school like we used to, knocking on the door. And it's very tough. But even he wanted a PlayStation 5. And I'm like, last year, and I go, you're gonna have to buy it. Like, I'm not buying you this. Like, you got a Switch. That's fine. I'm not giving you something else that you can play. And he started doing chores for like my parents, painting their fence. He saved all the money from birthdays and holidays. And he ended up, it was funny because I liked seeing that conflict. Like, oh man, if I buy this, I'm only going to have like $50.
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to do this?
Teaching him real skills when you're doing that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And he ended up buying it. And he's pretty good with going outside when he's not allowed to use things and doing that. But yeah, it could be.
It shows the value. I mean, it's worth something to him then. That was his hard work that earned that. Yeah. And so now, like, when he goes out and does these other extracurricular activities, like, that's almost like he didn't earn it, but he worked he fucking worked hard for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's tough with the online
computer too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like with the online games, that's the tough thing. They're playing with their friends from each other's homes. Yeah. Where back in the day, you had to go to your friend's house to play a video game.
Play Super Nintendo, and you had to walk there, ride your bike there. So at least we were being active while we were being
exactly. And then even then, like when you're actually live in person with a friend, the chances that you're going to spend 2-3 hours playing video games are pretty slim. You're going to start wrestling. You're going to start fighting. You're going to be like, oh, let's go do something else. But when you're in two different locations doing that, and that's the only way that you stay connected.
Yeah. I feel like
keep doing that.
I was going to say my drawback is that I work online, and so I am home. And so for me to try to micromanage my son, like on vacation or the summertime when I'm actually working at home, is fucking difficult. And I will not lie about that. It's like I try to ask for help for my husband and he's just like, doesn't want a deal. And I'm like, you actually can leave the fucking house, take him to go with you. I'm like, why am I arguing this with you? Yeah. And it's like, I need some fucking help here.
Yeah.
That's a daily battle.
At least you're verbalizing it versus people who don't, and then just carry that resentment.
And then they grow that resentment too then.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is I feel like that guy now, and we're all parents here. I feel like that guy where back in my day, because I'm constantly saying that to my son. I say it in a joking way, but I'm also serious when I'm saying it. So like I get it now when our parents said that to us.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were joking or not, or if they actually meant it, but I'm saying it in a joking way, but I'm also serious. Like literally back in my day, we had video games, we had all this stuff. We were the advent of the internet, so I get it. We grew up with all this stuff, but like damn, like you guys don't realize how easy you fucking have it anymore. Like I sound like a grumpy old man when I say that, but
it is
anybody listening is going to resonate with that. So
yeah, you get to that place. I mean, I'm 45, and just even like high school people who don't know Jimi Hendrix or
that hurts my heart.
Yeah, like that. It's like, am I at that age? Or I'll bring up something and they're like, "What's that?"
Well, Green Day's classic rock now, dude. So
yeah, right.
What the fuck?
It's crazy. It is crazy when you hit that spot and you're like, oh, they don't even know what this is. I mean, I remember an older guy that I worked with talking about party lines, and he's explaining it to me. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what is that? Where everybody on the street had like the same phone line, and you'd pick it up and Sally down the street would be on. Be like, I have an emergency. You could just listen to each other's conversations. Like, that's real. Yeah. Like you had
money. That was slightly before my day, but I heard about it from my Opa because I grew up in a rural area on a farm. So
yeah,
I think he had just gotten a telephone probably line a few years prior to that.
Yeah. So you'll break things up now to these kids. They're like, what? Like dial up
share a phone line, and you can just text people and call people and video chat people on demand.
Yeah, it's funny because when texting came out, I was like, "This is stupid. Just call me. Like, this is dumb." You're like paying per text, and now I'm like teaching my mom how to text so that
I'm like, "Please don't call me.
I don't have to talk."
As a parent, our days are filled with joy, challenges, and countless memories of connection. And let's be real here, more often than not, chaos can feel downright unavoidable. And in those moments, maintaining our peace and well-being are absolutely crucial. And you should know by now that I love talking about all things mindfulness. So this message is for all you mindful parents out there seeking a natural path to tranquility and presence. Cured Nutrition understands the unique stressors we face every day. Whether it's waking up early to take the kids to school or playing taxi as you shuttle everyone from practice to practice, let's not forget that you still have your daily responsibilities with your own career. That's why they created their Serenity Gummies, your go-to ally in managing the complexities of parenthood with ease. These gummies aren't just a treat. They're a blend of science-backed, health-supporting ingredients like full-spectrum cannabinoids, ashwagandha, reishi mushroom, and L-theanine. Each ingredient is chosen for its ability to support your physical, mental, and emotional sense of calm. Now imagine unwinding from the day's hustle with a natural alternative to alcohol, helping you to improve your presence, mindfulness, and overall well-being. Now oftentimes we turn to alcohol as a way to alleviate stress, but take it from someone that has a long look at his relationship with alcohol. That really only makes things worse. The Serenity Gummies offer a more holistic tool to have in your arsenal so that you can feel good about feeling good. I personally enjoy the passion fruit flavor. It's sweet with some kind of an earthy undertone. I'm no expert when it comes to tasting things. I just know what works for me, what tastes good. In addition to that, each gummy is precisely dosed to guide me to my happy place. Now, Cured Nutrition is offering an exclusive 20% off discount just for our listeners when you purchase Serenity Gummies. Visit www.curednutrition.com/CTC and use coupon code CTC at checkout. That's CURED nutrition.com/CTC, coupon code CTC to embrace a state of relaxation and balance. Remember, protecting your peace is just one gummy away. Now take a moment for yourself and find serenity in the midst of life's whirlwind moments. Because you, as a parent, deserve to support your well-being and do something for yourself so you can continue serving others like the badass that you are. Protect your peace and pop a gummy. Yeah, I remember it was the credits. You had half of a minute for one text. I remember that. That's what I had. That's what when I was a teenager. That's what it was because I had to pay for my own phone back then. So I still do. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a phone until 21. Beth, how old were you when you got your first cell phone?
Probably around 36.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that tracks.
You still got it later than other people then.
I guess my first iPhone.
First iPhone. Okay. That makes sense.
I mean, it wasn't too much earlier than that when you got rid of the beeper. And I'm 51. So think about.
Yeah, we're 6 years. So if I was 21, you would have been like 27, 28. I was the last one of my friends to get one. I didn't want people to get in touch with me.
Yeah. I had like one of those Nokia flip phones.
Oh yeah.
Those things are like indestructible.
Like dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I still have it somewhere.
You probably still fire it up and use it.
Yeah. If I didn't do business online or any of that kind of stuff, I could see myself having a flip phone just to stay away from everything.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's nuts. Which goes back to what you were saying before. We got to go back to some of the old school ways with our lifestyles.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're always connected, and being always connected is really detrimental to everybody's well-being, I think. Yeah. It goes back to like, I saw this, I don't know, it wasn't a meme, but it was more just like an infographic the other day, because people, when they send a text, they get offended if you don't get a response almost right away. It's like, you don't get like what Beth said on her talk in Vegas, like with her social media and her DMs, that's my house, right? You texting me, you're coming into my house then. And I don't have to respond to you right away. In fact, 15 years ago, you got a response when you fucking got a response. When we got home from doing our things throughout the day, when we checked our voicemail, checked our email, whatever it might be. You might go days without hearing from somebody. And guess what? You actually just, when you saw them, you had a real conversation with them. Yeah. And that's what I hate about this always on communication. Is, what is there to fucking talk about when you're in person if you're texting somebody all day?
Correct. It's so fun because even like with Facebook, when that first came out and people were getting on, I got on. I'm saying no to every friend request. I'm like, I need in high school. I don't want to catch up. And then the other day, like 7 people I'm friends with. I'm like, these are my friends in real life. This is stupid. I'm getting off Facebook. And then I remember saying that same thing. I go, I don't want to know everything that's going on in your life. You see people interact and they're like, oh, that looked like such a great trip. Let me tell you about your trip. And then you can confirm that. I hate that. It's this false sense of closeness, this false sense of connection that leaves this emptiness, that takes out a little bit of joy. And that's another aspect of our health that we're missing is just having fun and actually laughing and doing things. So, and that this focus on the scale, I keep wanting to make a little reel and I just keep putting it off, but just to talk about the topic of like train for Disney World. Some people, you're training to get through Disney World and not be exhausted. And that's okay. We don't have to have some extreme thing. But you want that experience of going to Disney World. So this is what you're training for. Eating a little bit better, going for walks. So now you can go and your feet aren't hurting. You're not needing a wheelchair, whatever it might be. It's not torture to take your family through Disney World. And as you keep treating yourself like that, you're training for an experience. You're working for an experience that you can have. Now you might start being interested in more and more experiences. You know what? I want to do a hike that I know that I can't currently do right now. Let's start training for that. That can be the goal versus just to have a look so that other people admire you in some way. And what's going to happen when they're going to say, oh, you look great. They're not going to tell you every day. So if you're doing it for the compliment, what are you going to do when they stop complimenting you?
Yes.
It's you're then what's wrong with me? And you're going to, do more extreme things.
Validation from other people.
Yeah. Just do things so that you don't miss out on life experiences. That's the part that I wish people could really wrap their head around. I mean, to see like a 12 or 13-year-old girl not be able to do a ride on the boardwalk because the thing wouldn't close down. And I'm like, first of all, it's mortifying. Everybody saw it. Her brother or sister, whatever did the ride. She had to get off. She didn't get to experience something fun because of her weight. I'm like, that should be what we're doing. If you're in a position where it's not stopping you from experiencing things that you want to experience, then cool. Like, just be happy.
Yeah.
Dude,
As hard as that is, it's easy to
live
say.
life without limitations and restrictions. That should be the goal. Being mobile, maintaining our independence as we age, so we can age gracefully and not have to rely on somebody to wipe our own ass when we're 70.
Yeah. Which could be nice.
I mean,
At that point, I might be into that. So maybe I fake a leg.
There's probably an OnlyFans out there for that.
Oh, that's fucking nasty. I just had like a visual for some reason.
You're nasty for having a visual. I mean, Beth, like your talk was great too. Really, at the just people being themselves and like getting to know who you are. Get this acceptance. It's funny because all these coaches will get out there and tell people, don't worry about what other people think. but then they're doing exactly what your talk was about, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Being worried about what other people think.
Everything. Yeah.
It's wild it's wild to me. And I guess maybe that's where I'm thankful I got into this online thing older. I mean, I can't imagine being 23,
totally
24.
Totally.
Yeah.
I have the experience of like growing up in the 70s where I was fucking no computers, roller skating till 10 p.m. at night outside.
Why am I picturing you still doing that on a random Wednesday?
I would totally do that if I had skates. Literally.
Let's get
Matt, looks like we got a birthday or Christmas present. Matt, you got to send her that as a birthday or Christmas present.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. The comparison syndrome online, though, this is something that I've been noticing a lot lately in my DMs. I don't know if you guys want to talk about this, but a lot of people are DMing me, asking me about what do I do? My friend is on Ozempic.
Yes.
And I feel like it's taking me forever and I'm doing all the hard work and my friend is losing weight so fast. I'm like, why are you fucking comparing yourself to your friend? I mean,
God, I heard this 10 times this week.
And the amount of people that are asking me about this fucking Oprah special, I can give a flying fuck about Oprah and what she's doing and the fucking pharmaceutical companies that are like in line with her now. She quits Weight Watchers and then suddenly she's on fucking Hulu promoting whatever. I didn't even watch it, so I'm just making shit up at this point. But I'm getting asked about it.
I'm going to watch it. I'm like, no,
and I'm like,
not.
I don't care. This is Hollywood shit. You're going to listen to another celebrity that literally talks about everything that's fucking worked for her throughout the years. And everything.
There's been a million things and none of them actually work.
A million things. So this is just another fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm against these weight loss drugs. I'm against the promotion and how it's going about in this Oprah shit.
Yeah, it's so casual.
Right.
Like there's
because now we're seeing Karen down the street take Ozempic to lose 15 pounds and get ready for the beach. Like, no, fuck that. That's not what these drugs are for.
Yeah. I always say you can't be jealous of one aspect of someone's life. You have to be jealous of every aspect. So if you're going to be jealous about how much money somebody has, you better be jealous of the 90 hours a week they're working. If you're going to be jealous of somebody's body, you better be jealous of the discipline, or lack of better word, the training that they do, the way that they eat. So if you want to be jealous of these people, you have to be jealous of every part of it. If you want to be jealous about how easy that couple got pregnant, then you better be jealous of the man that woman's sleeping with.
But it's also like
do you want him to bang you? No. Yeah. Okay. That's I'll be jealous. They have to pick that thing. So when it comes to this topic, you can be jealous all day if you want to about this. Are you going to be jealous about the consequences that come with it?
Exactly.
Well, no. Okay. And then the lessons that we learn, which is so difficult until you go through the process to trust and understand, the lessons that we learn are through the process of it. It's like if you take like a butterfly out of the cocoon too early, the wings aren't developed enough and it's not gonna be able to fly. So if you try to help that butterfly come out of the cocoon, the struggle of that butterfly getting out of the cocoon, that's what strengthens the wings. That's what allows the butterfly to fly.
They got to struggle.
Yeah, they have to struggle. So that's what the struggle that these people are going through, not doing Ozempic, comparing and all that stuff. If they just stay the course, they're going to be able to fly, where those other people are just going to flop and then they're going to continue to fall into those cycles forever. But it's so difficult. You can just say it over and over again.
I know.
I don't know how to, you just have to trust at a certain point.
For sure. And that comparison thing too, like you said, you better be jealous of all aspects of it, the good and the bad, but also you have no fucking clue what those other people are going
That's
through.
Exactly.
Correct.
If you're jealous of this person's physique or the fact that they lost all this weight, you don't know how they feel mentally, physically, emotionally. You don't know the things
implications, repercussions.
Maybe they're in the gym 4 hours a day. I've talked with people that have been in the gym 4 hours a day just so that they don't gain the weight back that they've lost. That's no way to live for most people.
So drastic insecurity that they have, always having to maintain this. Scale goes up 2 pounds. Nobody even notices that they're bugging. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just even in the fitness space, I mean, we see it, we know it. You end up meeting people and you realize, oh, wow, they're like really mentally disordered with the way that they're viewing themselves. And then they're just training other people. And then the funny thing is, they're the ones that will get like more respect. Like, how many times you maybe get a comment like, you're a coach, you're not shredded, you're a coach, you don't have the body that blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but I have like joy and happiness and I'm not chasing.
I move well. I feel good.
Yeah.
I'm strong. I'm healthy.
Yeah. You don't know the body dysmorphia that a lot of these younger, lean people have that people want to look like.
We can see it because we've been there.
Yeah.
We
see it in their eyes sometimes.
People don't understand the price that you have to pay to be extremely lean.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Very, very hard to maintain without extreme measures.
Yeah. And if that becomes your standard, this physique, this look, it's not for you, no matter what anybody says. It is for other people.
Right.
It's for other people to view you that way. I think it's very hard for us to view ourselves without viewing it the way that we think other people view us. Kind of thing. Like when we start to picture how we look, we think that other people think that we don't look good enough. We're still like projecting onto ourselves what we think other people think, which is, I guess, what we think of ourselves. But why? Because I think we're thinking about what other people might think of us. It's just this weird mind fuck that we do to ourselves.
It's like, let's take this person that wants to get really lean and wants to meet this weight loss goal because what other people might think, right? Well, what if you're the only person left in the world? Would you still want to lose those last 15 pounds?
Yeah. No,
probably not.
I wouldn't,
right? Because all. You're trying to satisfy other people and you're trying to validate and make other people happy.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. You're stranded on a beach like Tom Hanks in Castaway. You're not pinching your love handles.
Right.
You know, like what if somebody does come to save me? I can't have this. My shirt's ripped. I can't even cover up. This is terrible. 100%. We wouldn't be thinking that. But in that same exact situation, if you were 150 pounds overweight, you would be wanting to get in better shape to be able to navigate that island.
Yeah.
Your intentions would be very different. You wouldn't walk around at 400 pounds, deserted on an island, and be like, this is great. And sitting there, you're like, I got to get wood. I got to get coconuts. I got to go hunt an animal. This body weight is not helping serve me in this situation right now. I need to run away from something. So yeah.
And along the same notes too, I had this thought the other day because I've been struggling with this this week with the amount of people in my DMs that are really just so infatuated with that number on the scale that it's ruling their life. And it's like, nobody's putting your body weight on your headstone when you die.
Yeah. And then
That's
women's
the least
clothes.
Interesting thing about you, I promise you. And if somebody's concerned about that, then fuck those people. Like you don't want those people in your life.
Well, and women's clothes is like Satan making them. I don't understand. Like a size 4 is 8 different sizes, all that kind of stuff. So people get obsessed with a size and it's the same thing. Nobody can see the size. You're walking around so insecure because these pants are too tight. You can go up one size and nobody's going to know. You can actually walk around feeling confident. It's not like Levi's jeans where they put the waist measurement on the outside for men. Is it Levi's that does that? They just put that number right on there. What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, there's a Seinfeld episode about that actually, because Jerry replaced the tag or scratches the 2 off. I think he was a
that's hilarious
4 waist instead of a 32.
Yeah, it's like people don't know. And since all these clothes are all different sizes anyway, don't get so hung up on that. Just get one size bigger. You're working so hard to get in these pants that used to fit in. And I think too, even with that, it's the memory of what life was like when you were that size. There's that freedom. You were younger, you were single, you're going out with friends, you're drinking, you're having fun. Like that's the memory. And I think if people can even wrap their head around, it wasn't the size, it was everything that my life was like maybe at that size. So how can I bring those things back into my life? What things can I do?
Recapture those things.
Yeah. What things can I do with my friends to have a little bit more fun? Maybe not everything is a let's get together and drink wine at the house all night because we're all moms or dads and whatever it might be. Yeah. You like go do something fun, wear clothes that make you feel confident regardless of the size. And maybe through practicing that, you can eventually get to that place.
Dude, I love that.
You're a little bit more happy.
Yeah.
Because we get that question a lot. It's like, I just want to be confident again. Well, start wearing clothes that actually fit you. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
You'll move
start
better.
doing things that make you happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's doing shit that brings them joy anymore. So it's sad.
I think with the whole encouraging people to wear clothes that fit them where they are now, because there's this whole thing with body acceptance that people struggle with. It's like, but then that means I accept how I am today. It's like you can accept where you are today and love yourself for where you are today, but you can still also want to change.
Yeah, you're not buying a Lamborghini. You're not buying a Lamborghini to manifest becoming a multimillionaire. You buy the car that you can afford right now. It doesn't mean that you're settling for that income I'm just settling for this lifestyle of income because I bought a Honda Civic. Like, no,
that's where I am right now.
That's where I am right now. Absolutely. And now maybe feeling a little bit better in my clothes, it will inspire me to maybe start doing some of these things that will make me feel better physically, mentally, emotionally, all that kind of stuff, treating ourselves well in those ways that are a challenge. It's a challenge to do things that treat you well. You could call it self-love and all that kind of stuff, but the idea that it's treating yourself well is not always going to be easy. You know, we have to do some things to treat ourselves well. It's the same thing. In order to treat your kids and raise them the right way, there's going to be some discipline involved. There's going to be some fights over video games, bedtime, brushing your teeth, washing your balls, all those kinds of things.
So bringing brushing your balls. Yes, definitely have to encourage that.
Got to get up in that grundle, son.
Yeah.
So bringing that conversation back to what you do and where your environment is with working with high school students with the confidence in wearing clothes that, you know, actually fit people. So where do you see that playing out? Because high school is a very stressful time, right? That's where a lot of those things start, or even in elementary school, especially for women, the pressure to change their body, to fit into clothes that don't fit them, to be smaller. I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, like, do you see that being pretty prevalent in high school still?
Oh, 100% with the body image. The way they're dressing now is better than, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, where very tight revealing was a little bit more in fashion, and
the crop
people
tops
with
and
clothes
shit.
that didn't fit,
and people with bodies where it's like, I feel bad, like you're wearing this and I can tell you're insecure because you're tugging at it all the time, but you're wearing it to be cool, to show that you are confident with your body. And you can just kind of feel that they're tugging and pulling, but they want to fit in by wearing the things that maybe leaner people are wearing. I don't know if that sounds insensitive or not, but it's like, I'm obviously not
it's the trend, right? It's what society is telling, like, it's what people are showing and the influencers are doing. So
and you see that insecurity in some of these girls when those styles were a little bit more. Now people are just rolling around in friggin' hoodies and sweatpants. My son came like last year or the year before to school, and he's like, for the take your kid to work day, he's like, is today pajama day? And I go, no. Like, this is how they dress. He's like, what? He legitimately thought it was pajama. Like, this is
my
how
son, nothing but sweatpants and sweatshirts. He wore jeans a couple of weeks ago. He said, Dad, I haven't worn jeans in a long time. I like it. I'm like, yeah, myself included. Ever since the pandemic, I'm in sweats and workout clothes most of the time. But when I put real clothes on, jeans, a t-shirt, a polo, like, I feel great.
Yeah, you turn around, you look at your butt in the mirror, you're like, okay, Matt.
I still got it.
I still got it. Those glute bridges are working. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I still, you see the same. There's no doubt. Even the guys have the body image issues, and people, I think, like, people who are overweight don't realize that the really skinny people have the same insecurities.
Yeah,
100%. We do.
They don't know how painful it is, to maybe physically painful, to eat the amount of food that somebody who's trying to gain weight has to eat. It's physically uncomfortable sometimes for these guys. They just think, oh, it must be nice to be so skinny, and like they're walking around drastically insecure about how skinny they are.
Yeah,
everybody,
for men especially.
Like, and those feelings might never go away. And I think it's okay to accept we're always going to struggle with it a little bit, but we can at least have those conversations with ourselves of accepting that and going, hey, I'm struggling with it. It's okay. It's a season right now that I'm struggling with the body image. Let me just accept it, and then practice being confident in it. So you're afraid. If I don't want to take my shirt off at the local pool where I know former students might be lifeguarding or whatever, because I'm Mr. Nutrition guy and I don't have a six pack and I got little love handles, and I might be thinking, I'm not looking the way that maybe they think. And those things play in your head as when you're in this space. It's like, no, just practice being confident in it. And then the confidence sometimes will come along. Practice doing those things, kind of what we were saying before. Practice that by wearing clothes that fit you, going out, having fun. Practice not giving a fuck what anybody thinks, and then you can start maybe doing it without it feeling like practice. You're just
and I think especially for men, that confidence, like, there's a difference between genuine confidence and fake and forced confidence, because forced confidence in men usually comes off as very, like, you can spot douchebaggy, you can see the insecurities, egotistical,
peacocking, walking around, peacocking.
Which is social media fitness influencers in their early 20s and late teens, really, for the most part.
Yeah. It's a brutal road that everybody's got to go through. I love the Jeb. Did you guys meet Jeb Stewart Johnson this weekend?
I don't think so.
He was kind of just floating around. Great guy. He ended up, we got in a really great conversation. He sent me a book while we were in Vegas. He sent me this book called No Bad Parts. I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it.
That's in my Amazon cart right now, actually.
The Internal Family Systems.
It's on my bookshelf, actually. There's a different one in my cart right now.
Okay. No Bad Parts? What's it about?
No Bad Parts. It's Charles something, I think. It's called IFS, Internal Family Systems. And the idea behind it is we are all, and I've always, felt this and believe this anyway, we're all very multi-dimensional, multi-personality people, not personality disorder, but multi-personality. There's different aspects to it. There's the outgoing part, there's the funny part, there's the more quiet, shy part, there's all that stuff that we have to start looking at all those personalities as different family members. It's our internal family system, and having a conversation with that, kind of with Jamie Filer, because after her talk, I'm like, Jamie, have you read No Bad Parts? Have you read this book? Have you read Untethered Soul? She's like, no. I go, some of your things that you brought up are from these books. You would love these books, but it's like when she said, if you listen to hers, sometimes I have to talk to little Jamie. Hey, little Jamie, I know that you're trying to protect me right now, but I don't need your protection anymore. Like, I'm an adult now and I appreciate you. How can we work together with the things that you're trying to protect me from? But that dialogue with ourselves, I think, is important, and not to suppress that, where if you just think you're this singular personality and then you have these things that come in an attempt to protect you, which might be you had a really stressed out week, things are crazy, just eat a bunch of shit and drink. Because every time I do that, it takes my mind off of all that stuff. And it's a protective measure. And if you can start to recognize that that is a part of you that has been there for you in that moment, it's working. It's de-stressing you. You have those drinks, everything, it's working. You are so reliable. Little Jim who comes in with all the food and alcohol, and to be able to say like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing right now, but I know that this actually doesn't help me. Right. What can we do right now in this moment? Because tomorrow I'm going to feel really emotionally guilty, physically shitty, all that kind of stuff. So I love that concept. And then Untethered Soul, I love the book. Was one of the things that Jamie had said is, you are not your feelings. You are the observer of your feelings, which is that concept is straight from things like the Untethered Soul, which I highly recommend for people who are really struggling with how other people view them. Untethered Soul is a great book. If I read that when I was 20 years old, I probably would have been like, this is stupid. But when it was recommended to me, I'm like, this is amazing. Just that perspective. Like, if all three of us watch a movie, we are all gonna have you might love it, I hate it, somebody else is somewhere in the middle or whatever. None of those perspectives change the movie. Right. We're the movie. What somebody else thinks of us does not change who I am. So when you go through reading that and you really kind of understand that, it's like, like, fuck them. Why am I letting them?
There it is.
It's their assumption of their own reality.
Where it's like, you just have to be like you're the projector. What we're thinking, we're projecting out to everything. So if we think somebody else, we're projecting it out and it's bouncing back to us. But once we start realizing like we are who we are and nothing else changes that, we are just the movie. So some people are going to love the movie. Some people are going to hate the movie. Some people are going to feel indifferent to the movie. And all I can do is just be the movie. I just love that concept. And when you read through it, it really does help you get to that place where it's like, now you can start to get a little too detached. You're in a fight with your spouse and you're like, that's interesting. That's your perspective on the situation.
You're just observing.
So you do have to bring back the reality that there are other people that we're interacting with. But those
great recommendations there. Definitely have been wanting to read No Bad Parts. So I think I'll actually take that with me on my flight this week to visit Beth, get started. Because that's been on my list for a while. The book that's in my shopping cart, I just checked. It's called The Body Keeps the Score.
Right here,
mind and body and the healing of dude, right here. My therapist recommended it to me, so I have to buy it.
That's an interesting one. A client of mine who's a psychiatrist had recommended it. She's a huge fan of Bessel van der Kolk. But interesting. I love any of this stuff, like some of the psychosomatic type books. This was wild.
That people need to address, right? These are why we have disordered relationships with food, with exercise, in our body. These traumas, and I love what Beth's been talking about lately in her content, because she's been going off on this quack dietitian about trauma keeping people from losing weight. Like, no, trauma isn't why, you're not losing weight. It's your behaviors and life because of the trauma that are impacting your energy balance.
It's so funny that you bring this book up, because someone brought it up in the comment section that, they're like,
body keeps
probably using it to fight you about it.
Someone read the fucking introduction or something from The Body Keeps the Score, and now that's what they're projecting.
Like, show me in this book where it negates energy balance and everything.
Right. So these people are trying to tell me that trauma is the reason why people are holding on to weight. I'm like, no.
Yeah. No, it's
because they're eating too much.
Yeah, it's leading to those decisions.
Correct.
Yeah. But there are things like, even you look at something like fibromyalgia. They have no idea where this comes from.
My girlfriend has fibro, and oh my God, I am learning so much about it.
And this, when you read this, you're gonna be like, oh,
okay.
Like it is like there might be some.
Hers is from a traumatic event, and that's
Correct.
what fibro is, right? Just
Correct.
stress.
And the body keeps the score. The body, it's like you have all this mental stress, and if my body could just lock down, then I can't do things that will maybe put me in the situation to have this again. Even like the physical therapist that I go to, they're always talking about the psychology of things. Like they just they've dove deep into that, because if you don't truly believe that you're going to heal from this injury, you're not gonna.
Exactly.
You're not gonna. So how that mindset does direct our decisions doesn't stop energy balance from working, but it's driving the decisions for you not to walk because, oh, my back hurts, my leg hurts. So there might be some trauma that's led to that. The trauma that leads to you overeating to come in to protect you from those feelings. And this is how we can eat in this moment or drink in this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish love all that stuff.
People online would just say like, yeah, trauma is real. Trauma is definitely influencing you not being able to lose weight, but it's not why you can't lose weight. Right?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. Yeah. There's so much victim mentality, honestly, like from someone that I've been through a lot of fucking shit. And it's like, you have to take fucking control. You have the choice to literally fucking change. Is it easy? Absolutely not. But you literally have the fucking choice. And the people that are like, nothing works for me. It's like, I want to answer, you know what? You're right. You're fucked. Nothing's going to work for you. You're done.
Stop trying.
So you know what? Just stop asking me questions because you don't care. But
maybe that is your response. Maybe that is your response.
At this point, that's what I'm going to say.
Anymore. Like, okay, don't try. Stop.
Maybe it's just simply like,
you're right. You're right.
If that's what you believe, then it's true.
It's you think you can or you think you can't. You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If that's what you believe, then it's absolutely true. So what are you trying to say? And then they'll battle you.
Exactly.
You're the one who told me that nothing works. If that's what you believe,
I've done everything and nothing works. It's like, okay, you know what? You're right. You're done.
That's what
it's your hormones, your insulin resistance, all these things. So don't even bother trying anymore.
Yeah. Until your belief changes, then it's true. That's just how it is.
That's so true.
And even it's like, and I posted about this, I don't know, one of my more recent posts. I haven't posted much in the last week or two. Just because I haven't felt like it. So I don't fucking care, Beth. I'm learning from you.
I was recovering from Vegas. I swear to God, I'm still recovering.
Yeah, but even leading up to it, I mean, just like wasn't posting much.
You were elevated for months with the stress and anxiety from that.
I know.
Yeah.
So got to regulate it. I mean, that's why you got the beach now, right? Thankfully.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What beach
you
you
have
at?
to go home to Maine for that.
I'm in Cocoa Beach.
Oh, look at you.
Near Melbourne. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's why that's why I posted. We all I guess understand that psychosomatic disorders are real for the negative. We need to accept this for the positive. You can't have one belief without the other. So if you think that the way that we're thinking can negatively affect us, you have to believe that the way you're thinking can positively affect you.
Yeah.
So if you believe in any psychosomatic disorders, you have to believe the other way around. So it's a lot of self-talk. It's a lot of conversation. It's a lot of action following up and practice. It's a practice over and over again, but you have to change something with the mindset, which is so difficult. It's so difficult. I can't imagine. I'm so glad I have a shitty following. I don't get comments like that. The only negative comments I get are if I comment on one of Beth's posts and then people attack me.
Dude, so I don't know if Matt knows this, but Jimmy made a comment and it was like
we were talking about it in Vegas.
Okay. It's still going off right now. It's still, people are still commenting on it. Even yesterday, Jimmy's like, I'm like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Stop.
Commenting on one of Beth's viral videos is, be careful.
Yeah.
I
thought the cry face emoji expressed that I was kidding and that I was making fun of the kind of comments that you get, but I guess it just came across that I was laughing at you and calling you a joke.
Basically. And I was like, I'm a piece of shit or something, Jimmy. And everyone's
Yeah. And it was like, I guess people too don't read all the comments before making a comment.
They don't fucking watch anything.
They don't even read our captions, dude. They don't read shit.
Yeah. To even see like that we're both like, you're like, no, he's a friend of mine. We're just kidding around. I'm like, yeah. And then people are still commenting afterwards. Like, yeah.
I had the same thing happen to me on one of Beth's videos, man.
It's crazy.
I literally have to write in the comment and pin it. If you comment without watching this whole fucking video, I'm going to know you did. Because they literally will comment within the first 20 seconds and I've already answered everything that I'm like, why are you repeating something that I said in the video? Oh, because he didn't fucking watch it. That's why.
It is wild. People...
I called somebody out for that comment the other day. I said, maybe if you read more than the first line of my caption, you would have known that I said exactly what you just said. And the person was like, you don't have to be rude about it. And they blocked me. I'm like, that's not fucking rude. I spent time and energy to make this post, to write this caption, to create this video. And you're not going to be fucked off to fucking read it. That's not rude. You're rude, man.
Yeah. I had this post a while ago that said something along the lines of prescription drugs are fertilizer for disease. And then I explained it in the caption. And obviously I can't put it all in the thing, what I was saying, but what I'm saying is, let's just say you're type 2 diabetic and you get a medication that helps control your blood sugar. Well, that allows you to continue the lifestyle that fed and created the type 2 diabetes. So prescription drugs are fertilizer for disease. And I explain all of it and give these examples. This is very different than things that are not chronic disease or lifestyle related disease. I'm not talking about all prescription medications, but if, so explain all that. And then somebody came at me calling it like clickbaity and all this stuff. And I'm like, obviously you didn't read the caption. I'm like, they're like, I did read the caption. I'm like, then why are you
That's
commenting?
The first line?
Why are you commenting?
That's why I hate social media. Everything's about that fucking hook and that first line. I am so tired of talking about hooks and fuck off.
I don't even give a fuck.
Yeah, the attention span of a fly, and hooks aren't helping.
I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't pander in that way.
That's why my content's not doing well. I refuse to fucking conform to these flashy videos with graphics and fucking race car sounds after every fucking 3 seconds. Like, fuck off. Like, you're the reason why we have no fucking attention anymore.
Yeah.
Race car sounds.
Seriously, it's like, why don't you know what some of these sound effects? Where do the people come up with these fucking sound effects? And there's 30 of them in a 30-second video. Fuck off.
It's too much. I don't have time for that.
Stop it.
I know. Yeah, I'll shoot it. I put the same like little filter kind of thing on, so it makes it look black in the background, and then I use CapCut to auto add captions.
Boom. That's my.
And that's it. It does it highlights the words for you automatically now. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't even
sounds, the emojis.
Yeah, Beth doesn't even bother with that.
I know.
I don't even go to CapCut.
I know. Well, you can, Beth.
The only reason
not all of us went viral, okay?
But I won't.
CapCut is nice because I just record right in CapCut now, and then that way I can blast it to all my platforms. Because I used to just record in TikTok and then download it from TikTok and put it everywhere else, but that was too much effort and the quality suffered. So so I record in CapCut and then I just post it on one platform.
You record with your camera and then upload to CapCut, or you open CapCut?
I actually just open CapCut right on my phone and just record right from that. Yeah, I really like it. It's just like the TikTok app for shooting video, which I really like because CapCut is owned by TikTok. So
The more you know.
I'm going to blow up now, Matt. Watch out.
The world.
The more you know.
Dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, it's 1:30. It's 1:35 already.
So
Holy shit.
Up?
We just hour and 5 minutes.
Hour and
I like it.
You're done.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation.
I'm done. Bye.
Okay, bye, Jimmy.
Make sure you listen to Other Side Lifestyle Podcast with Jim Hallinan, aka Jimmy Nutrition, and Aram Gregorian, aka 4 Weeks to the Beach. That's a number 4 to number 2. We are currently ranked in the top 3,000 podcasts.
So I didn't realize you did the podcast with Aram. Okay.
Yeah.
We both had wanted to do one, but we both knew like if we did something, we wanted to do it together. We had similar perspectives with stuff, but also very different with things. So we wanted to do it. We knew that if we did it by ourselves, we probably would stop doing it pretty quickly. But to have the accountability of like, hey, every Friday we're going to record.
It works for us. Before Cut the Crap, I actually started my own podcast and I did like 12 episodes and it was very random. And then Beth and I really started connecting and I was like, you
need that accountability partner.
Yeah, and I couldn't do it by myself. I mean, you can.
It's more fun.
Wasn't it fun? Yeah. Like I was writing scripts and stuff. I was like, no, I don't like no.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. Yeah, we just would get on and just start talking shop to each other, and then we started getting guests. And I agree. Like, you get to that point sometimes where you feel like you're asking the same questions or it's the same kind of conversation. So it can be challenging with a ton of guests, but it's fun.
Our whole thing, I think we said this when we were in Vegas with you, is like, we're kind of not rebranding our podcast, but we're embracing a new motto that we've kind of come up with our followers and some other guests that have been on the show, is like a real fitness podcast for real people. So like, and not saying the people that we've had in the past aren't real, but like, we just want to help people. So why not just get more people that are doing life and crushing it or struggling, even people that have been there doing it, people that are making change in the world, like yourself with the way you're doing the course with your high school students. Like that's what we fucking care about. That's what's making a difference.
Yeah. I have one person I might want to connect you with who who's just her experience in the online coaching space with physique people who coached you like a physique person, but they're not physique people, and just how some of those things are out there. But she was really good conversation, really good response from listeners. It was one of those higher downloaded ones. Beth, your episode on ours was one of the higher downloaded ones as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Surprised me.
Nice. I like to hear that. I did not know that.
Yeah, we had 27 downloads with yours. I'm just kidding. It was a lot more than that. It blew up. It was almost 30. It blew up.
29 and a half downloads.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. No, it was a good one. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, let's wrap this up. This has been a great call.
Yes. Thanks for coming on.
I know you plugged your podcast, but I want you to plug yourself. Any platforms that you have, any types of ways that you have ways to help people, whatever you want to throw out there.
I'm useless. Don't reach out. I'm really just on Instagram at Jimmy Nutrition. There's nothing on my website. It's going to find of any interest. But if anybody did want to reach out at any point or follow along, most of the stuff I talk about is mindset related things. A lot of just word posts, weird thoughts that I have that come up or from conversations with clients. So, I mean, there's only so many times you could talk about how many calories are in a carb and a protein and all that. So most of my stuff is mindset related, little perspective shift stuff. So Jimmy Nutrition on Instagram, and then Other Side Lifestyle is the podcast. We're on YouTube. We put all our podcasts on YouTube as well. So
nice.
That's it. That's kind of it.
Definitely check those platforms out, everybody. And his podcast co-host, Aram, he hosted the event that we went to in Vegas last week in the Real Coaches Summit. Aram's been on our podcast. Fucking awesome dude. I know that his episode ruffled some feathers with people, right? I mean, it's Aram we're talking to. He's a good guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah. He likes to do that.
Awesome. Thanks, man. We appreciate you coming on today. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.